We're here now with Mark Mohler, who's going to explain to us the difference between GPP and CrossFit when it comes to triathletes and runners.
Sure. So just a little bit about strength work in general as we get into the differences. Most of us as triathletes or endurance athletes, ultra runners, single sporters, all that kind of good stuff, we know that strength work would benefit us. However, our playground is out there. Right? We want to be out running, out biking, out swimming, out trail running. And to come in and do this as kind of as little as possible, just to get the benefits that we either know or perceive are there, if we do that at all. And too many of us know that it's good for us, but just can't bring ourselves to do it. We're thinking of it as a couple of days a week, and I'm going to come in and do legs and glutes, and I'm going to come in and do core another day, things of that nature. There's a lot of drudgery and monotony. One of the things that makes both CrossFit and GPP very good is the aspect of you never know from day to day what you're going to do. It does get a lot of functional movement and things of that nature, so it can bring some of the monotony out of the program and bring you into an area where you're getting, you can satisfy your physical strength needs in a way that is very different from a traditional weight room environment and could be more appealing to an endurance athlete. But that's where a lot of the similarities begin to stop. And where we begin to be a little bit different is we don't have a goal beyond getting you generally fit in this room here, at least our general fitness room. CrossFit, for what they do, they're fantastic. And if your goal is to reach an elite level of a CrossFit mentality and then go on to compete in the CrossFit Games, that's probably where you need to be. They do that better than anyone else, right? They're very, very good at that. However, that's not our goal. We're not trying to get you fit for CrossFit Games. And so it opens us up to movements that maybe they might not utilize. If this movement doesn't prepare me for the games, then we're not going to spend time in it in our workout mentality. And if I'm them, I don't blame them, right? But for us, we're not concerned about that. We're concerned about getting you generally fit from head to toe, getting good functional movement. And that separates us a little bit differently so that we can come in, spend, as an endurance athlete, 3 to 5 days a week even still, which is very different from a normal thought process of maybe 3 days a week during the off season, then 2 days a week during base season, maybe 1 day a week during build just for maintenance, and then nothing the week before the race, and things of that nature. So you tell an endurance athlete 5 days a week, 4 days a week, it's a very different approach. However, our workouts are typically 20 to 30 minutes long.
That's doable.
So it's very doable. You can still get a second workout in later in the day. And then what you'll experience as you get into these is that you're not choosing strength work over endurance work. The work that we do is very endurance related. So many of our workouts are very non-traditional. We'll have running or other types of movement exercises throughout the workout. It's not uncommon to see us jogging down the sidewalk with a dumbbell in one hand and getting shoulder extensions, which, by the way, is much better for what we do than just a stationary movement.
True. We're
out there moving, and we need every rep to be unique, and that the stability that you get from that, what we consider core, is more than just here. It's whatever stabilizes the body as it goes through a movement. So we're working core every day. We're working functional movements every day. We're very, very proud of our air squats and glute works, or for those of us that are running and biking quite a bit, we're getting a tremendous amount of lower body work. Now when it comes to that, and when we avoid strength work, there's a big pitfall, because our neuromuscular memory is always turned on, and we are either creating imbalances or creating balance all the time. There is no middle ground. You are either becoming an imbalanced athlete, setting yourself up for injury, and then being set on the sidelines, or you're creating balance in your body. Single sport, or even triathletes for that matter, we're doing a repetitive motion thousands of times every time we hit the pavement. We are creating imbalance every time we go out for a workout. If we're not doing something else to bring the body back into balance, we're setting ourselves up for problems. And so what we're doing here is creating an endurance style of strength work so that you're actually getting cardio and endurance while you're working out. Then you go on later in the day or earlier that morning, whichever order you want to do your workouts in. And then you can work on your specificity, because we certainly need to make sure we plenty of running, biking, and swimming if that's what we're going to race in. But the two together are melded and blended in a way that is almost magical when it comes to getting results. And we're seeing so many people pouring in with reports of, I've been going off to this marathon PR for 3 years. I did 3 months of GPP 5 days a week, and I just PR'd.
Wow.
I've never felt that good for that last 10K. And it wasn't that their leg speed increased, their leg turnover was the same. Their general muscular endurance was very similar, but maybe a little bit improved. But the core strength that they had, the lower back strength, the ability to hold form throughout the rest of the run was so magnified that there came the personal record that they had been striving for 3 years. And we could give you story after story after story of trusting the process, backing off maybe just a little bit on your specificity, but not really, because you're still getting it inside the endurance work that we're doing here. It just looks and feels a little bit different, but it all shows up out on the field. I myself had almost an hour 50K personal record off of significantly reduced training, and that's not our approach, but it was just we're getting this building up and running. I wasn't able to run as much and decided to go out and just do it for fun. If I back off, I can still make the finish line. I want to go do it. I'm looking forward to this race. And just got out there and felt great, and ended up having almost an hour PR. So
that's amazing.
We have several stories like that, but that's one of the things that makes us a little bit different. It's just we don't have a specific strength game in mind. We have a life game in mind. We're creating balance to what could otherwise be an imbalanced body. And then
a lot less injuries.
A lot less injuries, absolutely.
I know we see that a lot with endurance athletes. A lot of injuries, and I'm guessing that's mostly because of not having that balance.
Exactly right. As we're imbalanced, just to give one small example, many of us, as we have knee tracking issues, and we think we have something wrong with our knee. And often it's simply that our quadricep has gotten stronger and is living in a tight state. Our hamstring maybe isn't as strong. They're both coming into attachment spots in and around the knee complex. Now the tug-of-war game begins, and the knee starts tracking off. It's one of the reasons in our squats, you hear other places say, don't squat past parallel. Well, ours, we actually say squat to parallel or below, because otherwise you're not going to engage the glutes and the hamstrings in that exercise to make sure you get a full range of motion in that strength exercise, and you can actually be exacerbating the problem by focusing only on quadriceps by coming, say, to here, instead of to parallel or below, ensuring these are tracking over toes. And we have a funny little acronym, but not little, is it, Kevin? It's kind of long. Toe cock tie histopod, which stands. What, did that sound funny? Stands for toes out, knees track over toes, heels just under the hips, or just wider than the hips, sit back through the heels and squat to parallel or below. And that's our acronym to make sure that we're squatting appropriately and staying safe. But that's one of the beautiful things, is that we're creating balance just through that one exercise to another athlete. If they're a biker, for instance, and they're a real big pedal master, they use very little hamstring throughout the range of their motion, lots of quadricep and glute matching, and then they're creating imbalance while they're out there riding their bikes.
And then they're going to have knee issues.
And they're very, very easy to have knee issues. We'll bring them in here, we'll get them squatting to parallel or below, get those hamstrings engaged, we'll do all kinds of other things to create balance in them. They'll never see that same injury, or potentially, I don't want to be cautious a little bit, potentially we'll never see that issue that they were setting themselves up for earlier.
That's awesome.